Hi there, Dead-Eye Delboy here, back with another video on the channel, and this time we're going full-on Monza experience this week. We are jumping into Daily Race B, so Group 3 cars, round the Cathedral of Speed. So the Toyota Supra is the OP car of choice. We're going to jump in, 8 minutes worth of qualifying, saw us P10 on the grid, but there's somebody very special in the lobby, the GOAT of GT. It is SuperGT himself, and he's one spot back from us on the grid in P11, so if the nerves weren't already jangling because of the thought of being on this track again, well, they are now. And whilst we contemplate certain death at some point round here, you can subscribe to the channel and help us try and reach the epic levels of success that the man directly behind me on the grid has achieved. Not going to happen, but we can but dream. Anyway, here we go, hurtling down to the infamous T1 at Monza. We just don't want to be the person who causes chaos, so we're going to be quite tentative, not really sure where to brake, but we're being hit, and we have somehow managed to survive it as the seas part for us. We come through somehow unscathed and in P6 with the Frenchman ahead. He must have had a significant part to play in the chaos. He's got a 3-second penalty. So I've survived by the looks of the Delta behind us. So have a few others, including Super GT. The Frenchman just deciding he didn't need to bother about the second chicane, and he just, bumps over and, well, didn't seem to pick up any sort of a penalty. So yeah, fair play. Anyway, we have to give Tuna a little bit of space on the inside there as we tuck in and just try and settle into the race. So back down to P7, but that's really a net P6 or P-Steve, and paying homage to the great man who's 0.3 of a second behind us. You can just see him dipping in and out of the radar there. So we just want to survive lap 1, that's all this is about. And talking of survival, there's somebody not surviving there as they take a trip to the grass. We managed to through a scary for the first time unscathed, and we're going to just pick up the slipstream of that ghosted Frenchman, and off we go. But also noticing there, Super GT has dropped back, so he must have picked up a penalty as well, so he may have had a part to play in some of the carnage at the start of the race, but we'll have a look at that after this. And yeah, it was just one of those laps where we just everything kind of went for us for a change. We went from P10 to P5, and we're now challenging for P4, so all was good. And as we come to the end of lap 2, we were dropping the cars behind. You can see Super GT's worked his way back up to P7. We've got Spaniard just inside the slipstream range in P6, but we're catching Tuna in front, so yeah, happy with the start. And for every victim that Monza has, there's always somebody ready to benefit from us, and it would appear that we are one of the beneficiaries this time round. So lap 3, we're starting to gain a little bit of confidence. Like I said, this was literally us jumping into the race with a little bit of qualifying, so first race, just getting used to the pace, the slipstream, the slight adjustments for the overspeed that you pick up, and yeah, we went purple, so we really are starting to find a little bit of a flow now, so all good. And we're closing right up in the back. We're within half a second now of Tuna, and yeah, we've dropped the Spaniard behind. We've got him out of the slipstream range, so there's a fair chance here we could pick up a very, very, very good result, and also finish ahead of the GOAT himself, P6 P-Steve Super GT. So anyway, here we go. Ascari, nothing can possibly go wrong now. We're well in our flow. Absolutely no chance of binning it here. Absolutely no chance. Absolutely every chance. As you see that is how you absolutely pleb it. And yeah, that was one of those moments where you want to curl up in a ball and let the ground swallow you whole, as if you never existed, because we've got a 1.5 second penalty. We lost 5 places on the track and embarrassed ourselves in front of the greatest GranTurismo streamer, content creator of all time. So across the line we finished P11, absolute disaster. snatching defeat from the jaws of victory, but it did finish on a bright note. SuperGT replied to our comment in the after race lobby, so yeah, basically best friends with SuperGT now, so yeah, another reason to subscribe to the channel. You can see here, this is what happened though, coming down to turn 1. Steve did actually miss his braking point and did cause a little bit of the mayhem, because he hit into us and a few others, and it just the pinball physics of GranTurismo. He picked up a 2-second penalty for his trouble. The other sort of main protagonist in all of this was the Frenchman, who sent a couple of cars spinning, and it's just chaos, isn't it, when you see all this happening? Cars bumping over sausages, desperately scrambling back onto the track. He picked up a 3-second penalty for his troubles, and why not have one more laugh at me spinning it with no pressure on me. The two right hand tyres just getting into that gravel, and it just dragged me over to that wall. Mr. Barry R himself, and the 1.5 second penalty just seemed, or just seems overly harsh these days. It really does. I mean, the embarrassment was harsh enough, in my opinion. So anyway, not to be deterred, we went out, we qualified a little bit quicker, a couple of tenths off the qualifying time, and up to P7 we now go. We've got Steve, SuperGT in P10, he's still behind us, so yeah, hopefully we can survive this time round. So turn 1, as always, it's the heart in your mouth kind of stuff. Just be cautious, everybody just stay calm, everybody please just stay calm. Not everybody's going to stay calm, and we're going to end up facing backwards up the straight. So that was pretty much the race over from the point of view of having any chance of a decent result. So dead last after the chicane. Why can't people just play nice? Why can't they all just stay calm going into turn 1? Who knows? But anyway, further up, P2, well sorry, lap 2, we've then got this Belgian. Looked like he had a takeout attempt on the German, but we managed to hold it on the inside there, and then inexplicably he just starts trying to punt me into the wall. So I've no idea what was going on there. The German then has a terrible rejoin, we hit the back of him, but then the Belgian punts us forward. So a little bit of karma to the Belgian there, who decided to inexplicably just start ramming me into a wall. A guy I've never had any dealings with on track in my life decided he was going to try and, yeah, just plant me into the wall. Now, players like that, there's just absolutely no place in the game for it. So again, PD, I wish there was a much better way of reporting players like that, because it's just not on. In no other racing game would you get away with that unpunished the way that players like that are doing. You can see here I was a little bit annoyed, and I just decided to spam the chat with thanks for the clean race. So I went a little bit Jack Nicholson in The Shining there. Yeah, that's the least said about that the better. Anyway, here's what happened coming down into turn 1, and we just get absolutely unceremoniously destroyed. Now, I wasn't actually sure what happened to cause such, you know, a massive misjudgment, but we'll have another little look at it. So we actually ease off the brakes a little bit because we don't want to go into the back of Big B. So we are going slow, admittedly, but that, it almost felt deliberate. I'm pretty sure, you know, surely it wasn't. I think he just didn't know where to brake, and he's all over the place. Just, it was a case of choose who you want to annihilate. He picked up a 4-second penalty for it, did. Cool catch, Stevie. But you can see here, this was the Belgian. This was in turn 1. He takes that guy out, so he's got previous in this same race. So he tried to take the German out there, and then we were his next potential victims. It just seemed like he didn't like being overtaken, as he desperately tries to put me into the wall. So yeah, but this is such a bad rejoin, and yeah, it actually worked out pretty well though, because the Belgian then punted me straight forward. So that was the first 2 attempts at the race. So we went away, we did some more qualifying, we came back, we're now in P1, and we're going to try and win the race. That was the goal for the evening. I just wanted to win a race. Nothing else mattered now. Now, starting in P1, surely we're going to avoid the madness. Surely nothing can take us out from here. well, when I say surely, the Portuguese player could miss his braking point and push me off track slightly and compromise our exit. So we've now got the Frenchman battling with us down the straight, heading for chicane number 2, and we're going to have to try and go a little bit defensive as we kind of hold a sort of middle line of the track, back over to the racing line, onto the brakes. We've got it nailed, turn in and get pushed off the track by the Frenchman. Yeah, so yeah, it's not going too well, is it? So we have now got a big gap forming to the Frenchman as we hold off the Portuguese player again, and it was just one of those moments where you think nothing is going to go right, and you wonder why you made the decision to enter races at Monza in Group 3. Skipping forward, we actually ended up in a pretty good three-way battle here with Max Power and the Frenchman, who was putting up a defensive display that many football teams, insert the team you support, would be proud of. And he managed to hold us off there, and Max gets a really good drive out here. Kudos to Max for using the Porsche. He's got obviously great acceleration out of those corners, and he's picking up the Supra slipstream. It just doesn't have the grunt to get past, but we're hoping Max is going to go for an epic send, one of his trademark manoeuvres, maybe power slide round, but no, he doesn't. He just stays behind, and we lose a little bit more time there as we try and wait for hopefully a mistake. But coming towards the end of lap 4, again we're in a good three-way battle here. This is actually a really good move, and I just decided to keep this in the highlights as such. We actually go round the outside, a move that Max has actually performed on me, as I've raced him many times, and it felt good just to return that sort of trademark manoeuvre back to Max. So by the end, final lap, we were actually on a really good lap. We'd caught right back up with the leader. We're going purple, but we just didn't get a great exit here. We actually just drifted a little bit wider than we needed to, and that just compromised it slightly. It wasn't a bad exit, but just not good enough to really get on the back of him. But there's still a outside chance here. He's going to go slightly defensive. Maybe we can get the switch back here, but he's just going to park it nicely on the apex, and there's just nowhere really for us to go. A little bit of dirty air, losing a little bit of front end grip there, so we're going to have to settle for a P2. But that was a really good race actually, turned out, between the Frenchman, myself and got Max Power. So yeah, still not got the victory, but here we go on to the next race. We managed to survive turn 1, and we managed to pull away from the rest of the pack, and here we are, the glorious moment where we cross the line in P1. We take the checker flag over to see the supporters, give them a little wave, and there you have it. So delighted with that in the end. We finally got the victory after some, well, shenanigans, let's just say, before that in the lead up. So yeah, great to have another race with Super GT. Always a pleasure to share a track with the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT of content creation. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you did enjoy it enough to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully, it's a lot of hopefulies, but hopefully we'll see you all again on the next one. Goodbye.